So talking more specifically about the W215H and looking at that kind of on its own, some of the things that I really appreciate about it. Well, one, I do like the style. It's, you know, it's got that same kind of 80s or 90s retro charm I think that the F91W does, but it looks cooler to me. I mean, this is like, I don't know, maybe it's like more of like a 90s look or something, and I grew up more in the 90s when I was a kid, but this to me, it feels like the kind of thing that I would think was a cool looking watch when I was a kid. And so I kind of like the way it looks. It's got this kind of glossy finish on it, which is different than the F91W's matte finish. You can definitely see the light reflecting off it more. The strap is really interesting. Again, it's kind of this integrated strap that I think is similar to what you would find in design-wise on like some of the G-Shock models. And so on the G-Shock, they do this strap with this integrated strap that's part of the protection. It's meant to be shaped in such a way that the case back cannot ever touch the ground. So if you dropped it, it's not going to land on the case back. And I guess the case back is one of the most vulnerable parts of the watch. And so that kind of is meant as a protection measure. I don't know how much shock resistance this has in it, or if this band makes this watch a little bit more shock resistance. But style-wise, that's what you're getting. So it's got this kind of preformed strap that comes down, and yeah, it's integrated into the case. So it's one seamless piece of plastic. And although actually, now that I mention it, no, you know what? It looks like you could change the strap out on this. I thought it was integrated, but now that I'm looking at it closely, it looks like you could actually pull that out and maybe put a different strap on there. But there is definitely a molding where the strap connects, so it looks like it's one seamless piece. You're getting just a simple plastic buckle on there, one keeper. But overall, again, it's a kind of a really cool look, and it comes in a variety of colors, some really interesting ones as well. So I'll put some links below. You can see some of the other color options out there, but yeah, some interesting stuff that they have going on. Like the F91W, it's just a great daily watch. The features on it are things that I use every day. Having an alarm is something that, if I have a watch with an alarm on, I'm going to use it. I'll use it to remind me of something. Stopwatch is something that I use almost, every time I've got a watch on. There's always something to time, whether I'm out playing with the kids or just, cooking or whatever. Yeah, having a stopwatch on a watch is one of the best features that I think you can have. So I think again, this is why these Casios are so appealing. Is they're inexpensive, they're well built, and they've got all of the functions that you could really use on a regular basis. The only negatives that I could think about this watch are very minor. First is the strap wears a little bit awkwardly. It's a very long strap, so even on my 7.5-inch wrist, there's a lot of kind of tail on the strap, and it kind of sticks out. So I don't know if you like that look or not, but the edge of the strap, you can kind of see it on the side of your wrist. It's sort of always popping out. Now you can move the keeper up further to kind of minimize that a little bit, but usually if you're just putting it on, there's going to be that little kind of tail sticking out. I guess you could cut it if you wanted to get it straighter or shorter, but it has a lot of holes on it, so you can get it pretty small. So it'll fit, I think, a wide variety of wrists, almost no matter what your wrist size is. I'm sure you could get the watch to fit, so that's kind of a positive, but it does wear a little bit awkwardly. I think my wrist is a little bit wider than the strap naturally wants to go, so it kind of tends to wear in sort of like a little bit of an oval shape, like an egg shape around the band, which doesn't get a really tight fit unless I cinch it really tight. I imagine it'll break in better as time goes on, and it'll get a little bit better fit with that. And then the only other negative, the second thing, is that, again, this is a little bit hard to come by in the US, so if you're not living in Japan, you might have a hard time finding a decent price on this watch. Now, all that said, I think if you can get your hands on this one, and if you're willing to, to spend a little bit more than an F91W, I think this is a really fun one to pick up. Again, it's kind of a unique one. It's not one that you see every day. It's not one that's on a lot of people's radars. I don't know if it's more popular in Japan, and that's why the Japanese Amazon has more of them. It could be a JDM model, and that's why you're not finding them as much in the US. But it's a cool little Casio watch. And I definitely feel like this one is a better one for me than the F91W, and it's kind of a step in between the G-Shock and the F91W. I think eventually where I want to go is I want to check out like a DW 5600 series G-Shock is what I'm really interested in, and see if I like that better than this one, or if really this kind of smaller, slimmer, cheaper Casio watch is more has all the features and things that I need. So hope you guys enjoyed this review, and we'll see you guys next time. And thanks again for watching, subscribing. We just recently hit 3,000 subscribers, so really excited about that. Appreciate all of your guys' comments and subscriptions. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Love to have you follow along as continue to look at all kinds of different watches and see what's out there. Again, usually focusing more in the budget price range. But thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next time and talk to you later.